Hi, this is Oscar. We are talking about the function today in Python. Function for all the game program language the same. If you learn one of them, only thing is changing the syntax of that one. So the function actually we can pass data through that one, which is they call parameter into function, or we can have a result return from the function. Creating a function is Python. It's very easy. We just have define and we name the name of function, any name that I want to. So in this case, I will call it, for example, request info. And this is a function I created right now with two colon here. And then let me get, for example, I get name here, and I will ask a user to enter name. And when the user enter name, I put it in this variable name. And then I print this name on the screen. So I say hi, I have to, this is a string, hi, and I have a space here. And then I put that variable, which I get it here, name, and then I will say that here, that again another string, glad to see you again here. Okay, let me do this one. Okay, let me run the program, see how does it work here. Current file, run it. I have to run it. Let me give here a space that be more clear, that one, and do it one more time. So I give name and I say, hi Oscar, glad to see you again. So to define a function in Python, we have reserved word define. We give a name to the function, open close parenthesis and two colon, and inside the function any statement that we want. And then if we want to call this function, by calling this function is going to work. If I don't call this function, I run it, nothing is going to happen. I have to call this function to be able to execute everything is in the function. Here it is, again, called and tells me, bring the name and tell me whatever that I put on the screen. Now I'm able to create another function. Actually in Python we can create another function, and this function I put argument on the function. I define a function and I call it, and this in this case I will call it name, and or actually I call it request name and open parentheses, and then I give an argument here to call it first name, and then I print here the first name. Okay, I have to make sure the variable is right or argument is right. I give it, okay, here it is. And what I have to do to, if right now I want to get this function, run it. So what I have to do, I call this function and give the argument a value. So for example, if I put Lucy here or whatever name, I can give any string, hi Lucy, and see how does it work here. First function I created, and then I ran it. The second one is going to run it. Let me, if I delete that one, probably is going to work it. If I comment it out, I can comment it out, all of them by hashtag. So actually I was able to comment only the, see how does it work, Lucy. And I can put again one string here, and I said, how does it work? Here it is. So again, I call this function request name. I have one argument here, and then I get the arguments right here. And when I recall the function, I put the any value for the argument right here. It says a define, and let me sell cal number. So I'll calculate a number for this function. And on that one, I give an argument here and colon. And what I want to do, I want to say return num whatever that I have multiplies by 10. Okay. And when I get exit out of that one, I copy this function that I create and let give some space, and let me give this one a number 10. See how does it work. Let me run it, see how does it works. I call the num thing and return the number. So I have to print out here the number. So I then print it out. So I have to print it out inside the function what I want to do. I can say that I call the function here on the print, and let me give this some space here. Let me, if I change the value of here 200 and multiply by 3, so it's going to be 600. Give me the value of the 600 right now. So I call the function return function here. So it's give me the number, return the value of this number and print it out. I'm out of this defined function. Here it is right now. If I don't print it out, here it is. I give a value for that one. I name it value and I give you num 1. Then I'm able to print this num1 out. Num1 out. So it's going to be same thing, same variable is going to happen for me. Let me change this one to 4. What will happen? So it's going to be, multiply. So what happened to that? This is a function and return a value. I then have a printout inside the value. I get the print or the screen on that. So I call the function here and put in this variable and print it out. I am able to put the same thing that I did before, which doesn't print anything here. So I go to the next subject. Okay, that's going to be next. But I want to do that. We are able, if you are working with a function and we are not sure that, let me define it. I say second, or I can call it any name, and colon here and pass, because I'm not going to do anything in this function, just I want to create it in future. So I'll be able to pass, so nothing happened here. This is going to nothing happen right now. If I want to calculate, there is certain thing that we call the recursive function. It means that it's executed. A function can call other function, or even possible call itself. So a function that call itself, how it's going to work. Let me, for example, let me get a factorial number. Factorial number is very easy to work with. Let me show you how does it work. The factorial is, for example, if I say give me the factorial of 10, factorial of 10 is equal 1 times 2 times 3. The number that I put it right here on the factorial, just I give it. If this number is just 1, just return 1. Else what it want to do? Else I want to do the factorial of that. Else I want return of nums times of the same function that I wanted to create it. So what will happen? I said on this one, my num times the second, which is a factorial on this case, num minus 1. Okay, and then let me see that when we did it, when we finished this function, I want to print out this function. Let me show you how to do that. I have to print out that one. So let me do this one. Let's print out, and let me put this one for 7. See what will happen. So what will happen here, actually I can put the number right here, whatever the value is going to be. So it's going to be factorial of 7. So it's going to be 1 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me 10 that. The 10 is going to be a big number. So let me get factorial of 5. What will happen? So when we run it, the factorial 5 is going to be 120. So 1 times 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is, they call recursive function. So this function call itself as far as it goes, as you know. So you see that if the number is not 1, return 1, else is continue this one, because the number is not 1. When the numbers become, here it's going to be to take 1 out of the total numbers, 7, 5. So it's going 4, 3, 4, and every time is multiplied by itself. Comment out this one. And next type of the function that I want to talk about, that is the default parameter of the function. For example, if I have defined another function, and this one I will call it third function, and what I want, if I want to have a default parameter for this one, and I said name, I give you a variable here, a name, and let me give it Lucy. Okay, and again I have the colon here, and then I print out here, and I will say that, okay, hi, and then let me have a space here, and let me, in this case I give the value that I gave, name here. Okay, and when I'm done with this function, let me go here and call this function, and I call this function as a third, and each time I give a value. Okay, let me copy this 1, 2, 3. The second one I don't give value for it, there is no value, but the third one I give a value for it. See, if I call this function, see what will happen. The first one I give value argument here. The second one I didn't give any argument here. So I use the default one. Default one is Lucy. So I'm able to use it as a default one. This case, if we are not sure if we are going to give a value for that one, so I use the default number. Hopefully you enjoy all the function here. So it's pretty straightforward for creating a function. Define, function name, if it's an argument or not, colon, and all the statement in the function. And then we have to call the function. Hopefully you enjoy.